Hey everybody, hello and welcome to Edible Seder Plate, Part 2, Harvest Your Karpas. My name is Aaron Levine, Assistant Director at CYJ Midwest, woot woot, and I'm really happy to have you here today. We're here to harvest the microgreens that we planted last week. You can see mine here right in front of me. And I planted basil and radishes. I want to know in the comment section which ones you planted or plan to plant. I know not everyone had everything right away. So it'd be great to see what our community has grown. Before we get started, I want to let you know, as always, feel free to type in any questions that you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, I'll answer them live or in the comments. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our partners for this production. The first one is the Foundation for Jewish Camp, Jewish Camp at Home, Young Judea's Chavarim online program, and BBYO On Demand. At this point in our season, you've probably already picked up or had delivered all of your Pesach food, and we have a couple days until the holiday starts to get cooking and set up our house for a really special and unique holiday this year. And I hope that in your case, you've been able to grow some microgreens to add a little special flair to the top of everything you're doing this year. So I'm going to get started with how to harvest your microgreens. So you're going to need your microgreens. I grew radishes and basil, as I mentioned before. You might see here, it kind of looks like they're growing on only half of it. The radishes grew really quickly. They germinate easier and in colder temperatures. So in the Midwest here, where it's a little cooler, when these were in my window, it was a little bit cooler next to the window than it might be in a warmer climate. So the radishes had an easier time. But if you look at the bottom, we still have all of our basils here. So even though I might not be able to harvest them for the Seder in a couple days, I'll definitely be able to snack on them during Pesach. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest in two different ways. We're going to harvest one in a way that might be easiest for your Seder, and another that might be easiest for snacking. So all you need is a pair of scissors. I have my fancy pruning, like my pruning scissors. You don't need them, just a regular pair of scissors from a pocket knife or from your like your office, from your desk would be great. So all you need is you take your scissors and I kind of grab, so this will be the way that we harvest um, for our Seder plate. And by the way, like when you make these, it's kind of cool to feel them, feel all the different plants. So what I like to do is I like to grab them like a ponytail. Now you don't want to grab them too um, too sternly because you might pull them out of the soil. And then if you have soil on your plants, you might be eating it by accident. You don't need to wash them. There shouldn't be any soil on the leaves, but you could if you wanted to. So because it's the Seder plate and I'm going to be dunking them, I'm going to cut it a little bit lower than where the leaves are. So I should be left with something like this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'll put it a little closer. So we have long stems and I have my salt water at the ready. I'm going to take a little bit. Dunk it in salt water and enjoy. Wow. So even though it's kind of like they're greens, you expect them to maybe taste like lettuce. It's actually not the case. This tastes just like a regular radish was. It's just that the texture is different. So it's like a leaf that tastes like the radish root. So this is very tasty. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut for if I was snacking. And a popular Pesach snack is matzah. You might have heard of that before. So I found these kosher Passover gluten-free crackers. So they're kind of available all year round. And what I like to do is serve them. I'll take the salt water out of the way. I like to serve them with my microgreens with a little bit of cream cheese. So it kind of creates a cute little dish. And when I'm done, I'll post a picture in the comments just so if you can't see it on the camera, I got my classic Tempty cream cheese. Let's hear in the comments if you're a Tempty or a Philadelphia cream cheese fan. I know Sometimes it could be like a house divided out there. So I'm going to carefully spread the cream cheese. The whipped cream cheese is key. That's really important. That makes it a little easier spread. You're not going to break the cracker. I got smaller crackers as opposed to bigger ones just because usually less of them have broken in the package, but you can use whatever fits for you. You could use masa, whatever works. And now, so that's done. Where did I put my scissors? Uh-oh. Oh, they're right in front of me. So this time I'm actually going to harvest closer to the top. So I don't need as many stems. I want this to be more of like a garnish on my food. So I'm going to cut it. If you see here, I've left some stems remaining. I'm going to sprinkle the microgreens on my crackers. And so I'm going to show it up to the camera. You have a nice little snack. It's pretty good. Um, Half the reason I do all these webinars is because you get to eat. So if I'm not doing a webinar where I can have a snack, I might not like it as much as the ones where I can. And because this is a cooking show, you know I have a whole plate prepared with a whole bunch of snacks on it that I've already put the cream cheese on. And now all I have to do is add the garnish. So I'm going to do that right now. And this would be an example when my basil's ready a little bit later in the week. I'll be able to harvest in this way and make a snack for maybe Sunday night when the basil's ready. That might take a few more days. Let's see here. And if you're really careful, like there's a way you could plant these, you could cut them in a way. So if you look really carefully, maybe if I had let these grow another day or two, you would see, I'll try to put up for the camera, I'll cut one. There we go. So you'll see there are two stems, or two little leaves growing. Those are called the Cotyledons. Those are like the little baby leaves. And those grow first. And you'll see if we were to leave this for another couple days, here's a good, right from the middle, all the cotyledons of a lot of different plants look exactly like this. So they might be hard to tell apart when they're very young on the first two leaves. However, the next two leaves that come out are known as true leaves, and they'll have the shape, like the final shape of the plant leaf that you'll see growing in your garden. So if you're very careful, you could actually cut above this kind of juncture right there, kind of like this, like closer to where like the leaf starts. And if you were to come back in a couple of days, you would notice some true leaves coming out from in between there. It looks like I'm a little early for that. And those would still be microgreens, but they would start to get, excuse me, in the territory of baby greens at that point because they're growing a true leaf. And it's okay to have a mixture of both. So if there are any questions, I'd love to see them in the comments. I'm going to continue to harvest and make my little afternoon snack here. It doesn't look like there are any questions. So again, I want to thank all of our partners. Here's my list: Foundation for Jewish Camp at Home, Young Judaism Chaverim Online, BBYO On Demand, and of course our team at CYJ Midwest working really hard, Robin Anderson, Gabby Gordon, and Kevin Freitas. Thanks for making this happen behind the scenes. Let me know if you have any other questions. If you watch this later and you have a question, just pop it in the comments. I'll be keeping my eye on everything. And have a happy, healthy, and safe Pesach. Thanks so much. Bye.